Hello, this is Yehna.
And this is Jessie.
We are super excited to be back with another episode. This might be our last episode of the year, so that is what's crazy. Anyway, you wrestled through many different questions, and so we wanted to invite you and reflect on the question of what does this holiday evoke from you? So, welcome and join us at
At
the
the table.
table.
I cannot believe that 2023 is coming to an end because I remember just a year ago recording the end of 2022
Yeah,
together.
that was
And I remember
crazy.
we made that like little short like reel and we posted it and we're
Oh
like
my
Happy New
gosh.
Year. That was a
Crazy.
year ago? Like that's
Ew.
insane.
No.
I know. So much happens in just 1 year.
So true.
And not gonna lie, it's just been such a crazy, crazy season. Like a
Mhm.
crazier season than last year, wouldn't you say? We're like, oh, we're so
Yes.
busy last year. But this
This
year,
was a lot of plot twists. It kind of reminds me of
yeah.
this trend on Instagram right now where January version of you is talking to now November or December version of you and telling what the year has hold or something. Anyway, but I I still relate with that because if I were to go back and tell all that I had to go through and learn, and then all the things that I am now given, I would not have even fathomed any of this. Anyway,
Oh yeah, we had no idea what we were manifesting
nope,
back in January.
nope.
But today's topic, along with going along with the holiday feels, we're trying to ask the question of what does a holiday evoke from you? So we'll go through a couple different ways that we have definitely been towards the end of the year. And maybe one of you guys can relate, or any of you can relate to one of the things that we mentioned. But the first one is burning out towards the end of the year.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah. It feels like a marathon, and you're just at that. I feel like this is me this year, but have you ever burnt out and just crawled towards the end of the year, Yana?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was a big chunk of starting from 2020 all the way to even last year. That's how I felt every year at the end of the year. I want to say this year much less of that, so I feel very grateful, but ooh, you just can't wait to do that countdown of like 10, 9, and Happy New Year. I'm done. We're done.
Well, when you're a teacher, you actually get to do like a countdown of how many days till Christmas, kind of like how you do how many days till the end of the school
So
year.
true.
We do the countdown, and sometimes the countdown is just it's much needed for the teachers than the students.
It's so true. It's so excruciating.
Exactly.
Those last 2 hours of the school day
Oh
drags.
yeah. And that's when you know you are definitely burnt out and you need that Christmas break.
Amen. Amen.
Other ways that you might feel, what have I accomplished? Like you look
Gosh.
back at your year and you're like, I kind of don't want to look back at the end of the year because you're like, what have I even done?
Yeah. I feel like I just cried all year.
That's how we definitely felt in 2020.
Oh my gosh.
What
We
have I
got
done?
to, what have I done? Oh my goodness.
Especially when you've rewatched a whole season of New Girl or Friends, or like,
It's
you're
so
just
true. I think in the span of just 2021, I've watched New Girl at least 3 times. A little, a little overboard, but it just speaks to where I was at mentally.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
2021, I like rewatched Brooklyn Nine-Nine and I never rewatched shows. And after that, I was like, what have I accomplished in my life?
hey, Brooklyn is a rewatch worthy show. Just
It
saying.
is. It definitely is. So there's that, which we definitely have felt before. Along with that is like feeling rushed. I don't
Hmm.
know if you guys have been there, but I've definitely done the, oh my gosh, I said I would squat this many plates or I would lose this many pounds. And so I'm like going to the gym every day thinking, oh, if I just cram it all in 1 month, it'll happen. Trying to check off all my goals.
Wait, Jessie. I
What?
remember your checklist whiteboard in
I
your
have
old.
it.
Oh
It's
my
still
gosh.
here.
That is so wild. That's such a flashback for me. I still remember seeing that thinking, and that's when I asked the question, what have I accomplished?
That's too good.
Oh
Do you not have a
man.
checklist? Do you guys not make a checklist of like goals?
No, I'm sorry. I'm not a sociopath. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
I'm kidding. No, no, I'm definitely
Really?
not a no. Maybe
Like
I should.
every year I would write it on a piece of paper, like back in high school, and I'd put it on the ceiling of my room and I'd read
Oh,
it. Oh, wow, we're
I
very different people.
we are very different people.
Yeah, it's right in front of me. It's make two new friends, run a marathon, find a mentor. Have I done any of those things? A
Hey,
few.
you ran a marathon.
That's one.
Jesse ran a marathon. So
Thank
kudos
you.
to
Thank
that.
you. But yes, so definitely feeling rushed, feeling guilt slash shame.
Every year. What? Just kidding.
What do you think you mainly feel guilt and shame from when you think about your
Hmm.
year as an entirety? Because for some reason, when I thought of this, I immediately thought of like how I'm performing at work.
Oh my God, same. That's literally the thing that pops into my head.
Yeah, have I done enough?
No, yeah. That's the first thing that popped into my head. Am I even doing enough for my students? Am I
Yeah.
loving on my coworkers well? And what does that even mean? I mean, going back to shout out to our previous episode, how to love well.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Is
because
that what you think of too?
I do. That's definitely what I think about every year. What the heck am I doing? Am I even doing
Oh.
enough? Anyway,
So, which means that we definitely, along with feeling guilt and shame, have to feel more grace towards ourselves, which we're working on.
we are very much working on.
But the last thing, and I hope this is relatable for you guys, but overwhelmed from what is to come in the next year. Excited and anticipating it, but also, whew, what are we
Hmm.
stepping into? Some of you might be like, yes, we're ready, let's get it. And then some of you are like stumbling into the year. And then some of us might be, overwhelmed in
Yeah,
general. How do you feel, Yana?
this is definitely the question and the feeling I'm feeling at this moment as we speak, because as I shared in previous episodes, there are just so many opportunities that have kind of fallen on my lap this year, which in turn entails what my next year kind of looks like. And so this feeling of, wow, such a new chapter is about to unfold is that excitement piece. But then a lot of it is now my perfectionism of, am I even prepared for this? Am I worthy of this opportunity? Am I
Mm,
enough? Do I even know what I'm doing? I mean, we mentioned in our previous episode, we're going to start this retreat, and I'm trying to co lead this with Jessie and other people, and not feeling adequate is definitely a big emotion that pops into my head and heart. So, overwhelmed is the word of this month for sure.
I know you've been going, going, going. So I kind of flipped the questions because I was going to have us share what does it look like for us in the past and then how does it look like
Yeah.
for us this upcoming season. But yeah, for you, definitely. You've just been going, going, going. And I hope that, yeah, this holiday season will allow you. Well, you're kind of in it already. Yeah, break early. I
I
still have like
know.
3 more days.
Sorry.
Oh, but I hope that it's a time where you can find pockets of those moments to, take care of yourself. Because I think last year we did like a self-care holiday
True.
episode.
I need to listen to it.
We probably said some dumb stuff on there,
I know.
like
I'm kind of scared to listen. Oh
sometimes
shoot.
I'm scared to re-listen to our
I know.
episodes.
I definitely avoid certain episodes because I cringe so badly.
Same,
Oh
same. Oh
man.
God. I feel like looking back at this year, this is the most anxious free I've ever been.
Mm.
In my life, I've been the most present, which has erased a lot of anxiety.
That is
And I think
amazing.
it's just because there's so much ahead of me that I have no idea how it's going to play out, right? Like, even this
Mm.
retreat is exciting. I don't know where my career is taking me, I don't
Mm.
know where I'm going to live necessarily, but I'm just so secure in knowing that God's already taking care of me so far that He will continue to.
Oh
So
good.
that's just every day being reminded of that and surrendering. Okay, I know I'm doing it with God, and so it's going to be okay. That
Mm.
has given me just a lot of peace moving about.
I love
Yeah,
that.
just the day to day. So that's been, I think, the biggest accomplishment for me. What it's looked like in the past has definitely been dependent on family for me. Last year, I didn't have family to spend Christmas with. And so I was much more anxious about the holidays. Whereas
Mm,
now I feel more of the burnt out because I know I'll be taken care of and I have a place
yay.
to like fall back to
Mm,
during the Christmas season. Whereas I had to be on my toes, like, okay, how am I going to make it memorable or how am I going to not feel alone? And so
right.
I had to be more on guard, I guess. But now I can just kind of let my
Ease
guard
into
down
it.
or know that, yeah, I'll be
Mm,
scooped up.
right.
So that's how I'm
Right. That's so
feeling.
good.
Yeah. What
Feeling.
about you, Yana?
How am I feeling? Same as Jessie, this year has been just riding the waves of the work we had done previously
Yeah.
and working through a lot of that. Don't get me wrong, this year there were moments where we mentioned we felt like we were really falling 3 steps back. And for me, that was really surrounding around anxiety. And I
Mm,
hate when I get anxiety attacks, which I do get because what I feel is I failed. I didn't work hard enough to fight that off. But
mm,
I think where I really grew this year is instead of beating myself up over and over again for feeling that way, it's just, again, surrendering, saying, God,
mhm.
the heck, but you got me through this far. I know you can pull me through again. And so that has been really cool. But another thing that really unexpectedly, but also now I'm seeing why God has made me go through this is I've weirdly had to be put into a pretty intense and pressured leadership position unofficially within work and just life in general.
Yeah.
And I was always wondering why, because I am the youngest in the work environment and just thinking, why am I having to bear this? But now coming to December, I'm seeing what God has wanted me to learn and preparing me to do, especially with this retreat coming up, realizing I needed to learn to voice different things and organize things and work under pressure and blah 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 blah. And so this year has been still a continuous learning curve for sure, but overall this time what's different is that I feel God has allowed me more of a open curtain rather than like a walking in the fog kind of journey. So I just feel very grateful. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know
No,
what
I
I was
love
trying to
that.
share. I lost my train of thought after I said all that. Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's proof that like we both haven't reflected in a very long time. And so as we're trying to share our reflection, we're like, oh, we're actually reflecting on the spot.
Yes.
And there's a lot more that needs to be processed and said. But the question for you guys is, do you actually create time to reflect? I know this season is so busy. You've got maybe like 1 to 2 holiday parties every weekend to go to, and you're just trying to, I don't know, like I'm busy. You have to cram, seeing people before you go home for the holidays,
Mm,
or you're just trying to get work done so you can actually take time off. Or I don't know what it's like for you guys, but have you taken the time to stop and think about what the holidays mean? And if you're a Christian and if you believe in God and your faith is important to you, what is the true meaning of Christmas? Like it's not
mm,
just about, yay, Jesus is born. No, it's so much more than that. And so I
mm-hmm,
wondered, yeah, and that's a question for me, myself, too. Like, do
mm,
you actually take the time to understand the significance of Jesus being born? Yeah, or do you just get ready to erase, refresh, and restart for the next year? Like, how are you guys going to finish this year off strong? We're saying that to ourselves too.
mm.
But as we say that, what comes to mind?
This is especially in the US, such a busy month because whether you're shopping for gifts or going home for Christmas or you're having to work through a lot of personal things because holiday does evoke a lot of emotions, whether that is joy or happiness or there's mourning and grief, whatever that is, your brain and your body is moving pretty much 24/7 this month, really starting from Thanksgiving. So for me in previous years, just to be very transparent, I did not reflect. I All I wanted to do was end it and start over. Really thought that was going to do something for me. And like I said, this year is so unique in that God has gifted me so many opportunities. Therefore, unlike in the past, I want to actually take into account how blessed I am. So, as much as my body and my mind truly wants to shut off, I am hanging on a thread of consciousness to reflect and think through, wow, I've been so blessed. Now, how can I take into account not ending the blessing here, moving
Mm.
forward in gratitude? And it's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's not fun because with that reflection, I need to reflect on some griefs, So I think this year is unique in the sense that I am using extra brain cells to feel everything. Yeah.
Which those extra brain cells are going to come in handy because it's really going to have that heart reset for you that you
Mm,
need, you know? I totally
yeah.
agree with you on the grace part, especially if for those of you who are maybe self-critics and type A, like me, where sometimes when you're doing a lot of reflection, it's hard to think about the positives. It's easier to think about what you haven't done or what you need to do or what you haven't been able to do yet.
So
And I would
true.
really challenge yourselves to like reflection is good, whether, you know, it's reflecting on the bad or the good, but I would challenge us all to reflect more on the gratitude piece of instead of,
Mm,
okay, what have I not done or what couldn't I do?
mm,
Really to say, okay, well, what has God done? Because it's not about
mm,
what we do, but it's about, you know, his grace and how he's just allowed us to have another year, to have another just year of experiencing his love, experiencing his joy, and experiencing life. And so hopefully end the year with more of our hearts being filled just with his presence and his peace and his love.
yeah. I think it's just so important because something Jessie and I always say is that we should not make January or February or January because at least for myself, it's so easy to hopefully suppress all that the feelings come up, whether it's good or bad. And I end up crashing all the month of
Yep.
January. Oh my gosh, I did it again. And so really hoping that, okay, of course, if I crash in January, I'm gonna give myself grace. But hopefully after the fifth time, I'll learn not to do that. And so, although we're not asking you guys to suddenly pull out like a 3-month journal and write everything you're grateful about and all that you like accomplished and blah, 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 and all the fields. And that's a lot. But really, hopefully, even just honing into one thing you're grateful for or honing into one of the feelings that pop up into your head and giving yourself, whether that is 1 minute to 5 minutes to maybe even 30 minutes, to just sit with whatever comes up, whether that is gratitude, joy, or grief, whatever that may be, giving yourself time to pause in that moment, especially in such a busy, busy month, giving yourself time to breathe because life moves fast. And so, why not give yourself some time to breathe in this season? That could be the biggest Christmas gift you could give to yourself, really. So, hopefully, you're able to, like Jessie said, give yourself grace in this holiday season more than anything. Oh man. Honestly, I don't know if I made sense at all in this episode because my brain is now processing everything. I appreciate Jessie for bringing this idea of reflecting a little bit of this holiday season. So it's been good.
Yays.
Yay. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Hope this provokes a challenge. What am I saying? Challenges you all to really take the time to reflect and think through, if not the whole year, even just this month, of what all you are feeling and having to process through. And know that you are not alone in the season. We're so grateful for all of you who tune in to our episodes. And hope you all have a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year. We'll see you in 2024. Oh.
Happy New Year.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to say we're on Spotify and on YouTube, and all our updates are on Instagram. So we'll see you there. And until next time, bye.
Bye.